Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on when and where you're watching. It's Faye here with Northern Red Fitness coming at you tonight for a gentle flow practice. We'll be concentrating on opening up through the hips and the low back tonight. So if you twist and that, make sure that you've checked with our Part Q and that you have been cleared by your doctor for a new exercise program. Any questions, comments, always please drop them below. I'd love to know where you're watching from. I am here in the Okanagan. You can hear Duvessa with me drinking a bottle of water. And I'm sure she'll come upstairs all slobbery and want to be a part of this. So you can enjoy that later when she does come upstairs. So any questions, like I said, drop them in. If anything doesn't feel good, just remember to stay within your wheelhouse and maybe step back out of a pose if you need to. All right. Oh, hello, Christine. Nice to have you. So drop your comments. I love seeing who is watching, who is here with us tonight. And this will be available on the Facebook page later on, as well as our YouTube channel. So please subscribe to that as well at Northern Red Fitness. Lots of great content, and I'm so happy to be able to share it with you. So we'll start back on the mat, bringing our big toes together, knees nice and wide, sitting back on the heels as much as possible, reaching the hands forward and resting the forehead down. So our forehead is down on the ground, lengthening through the arms, through the side body. Close the eyes and just focus in on our breath. Inhaling up through the nose, filling all the way in. Then exhaling completely, squeezing all the air out of the belly. Inhale, filling all the way up. Exhale completely. Big inhale. And exhale. Once more, big inhale, filling all the way up, feeling the lungs expand. Exhale completely. Rising up onto the hands and knees. So nice flat back here. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, and maybe just a little wiggle out through the hips. Loosening out, head can hang down. A little shake side to side. Good, nice flat back. Inhaling all the way in. Let's open up through the chest and lift the chin high. Exhale completely. Inhale. And exhale. Rounding up through the back. Big inhale. And exhale. Good. On an inhale, we'll come back to a nice flat back. Again, maybe a little shake out through the hips as we exhale. Inhale, we're going to lift that right hand, reach it nice and high, lengthen through the fingertips. Exhale, sweep that hand all the way through. Threading underneath the left arm. Use your left hand to press that shoulder back. Trying to stack our shoulders as best as possible. Big deep breaths. Inhaling all the way up. Exhale, release into that twist a little bit more. If it's in your practice, you can take that left hand and bring it to the opposite hip. Can't see it now because the Great Dane is in the way, but my shoulder on the left side is reaching as far back as I can. On an exhale, we'll gently relax out of the twist, pressing back up onto the hands and knees. And again, a little wiggle out through here. When you're ready, a big inhale, left hand reaches high. Exhale, sweep that hand under, threading it through. Resting the head if you can on the floor, driving that right shoulder back by either pressing the palm hard into the floor or maybe reaching that right hand up and back. Strong deep breaths here, filling up the lungs. Hips stay above the knees. On an exhale, when you're ready, hands come back down, back in the tabletop. Nice and easy, swaying side to side, shaking out through the hips. Hands in line with the shoulders. We're going to press the entire hand into the floor. So pressing the palm, the knuckles, the fingertips, the entire hand. Tuck the toes under in the back. And on an inhale, we lift up and send the hips back in a downward facing dog. Now this will look different for all of us. However, we want the feet and the hands in line, feet about hip width apart. Maybe bending one knee, then the other. Pressing the belly button back towards the thigh. Finding length through the side body with every inhale. Exhale, settling in a little bit deeper into that down dog. When you're ready on an inhale, we're going to lift the right leg high. Exhale, drive it all the way forward through. So it's in between the hands here. If you like, you can drop the back knee down or lift it up and lengthen. We want to try to keep the back as long as possible. So no rounding through the spine, rather lengthen through that spine and feel that hip. Opening up through the hip flexors, opening up through the chest. Slow, deep breaths. On an exhale, place that back left knee down, left hand to the inside of the right foot. Big inhale, we're going to reach up with that right hand. Again, trying to stack those shoulders into a twist. Getting nice and heavy into that left hip, allowing it to come deeper. Exhale, bringing the right hand down. So hands on either side of that right leg, we're going to shift the hips back and lengthen through that right leg. So keeping it as long as possible, lengthening through the spine. So maybe you're on your fingertips here, maybe you can come down onto the palms with a nice long spine. Press the toes into the floor and feel that pull through the back of the right leg. Every exhale gets us just a little bit deeper. When you're ready, we'll lift those toes up and dig the heels down and feel that shift in the pull in the back of that right leg. So toes drawn up towards the body, still long through the spine. Reaching that belly button forward towards the thigh. Deep belly breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. Beautiful. When you're ready, we're gonna take that right leg and sweep it around to the back, relaxing into child's pose again for a moment. So big toes together, knees nice and wide. Sit back as deep as you can on the heels and lengthen through the arms in front. Taking a few breaths here, 3 or 4, just to relax through the hips. When you're ready, rising back up onto the hands and knees. Into that tabletop. Nice flat back, shaking out through the hips. Being mindful of the Great Dane, laying on your mat. We'll tuck the toes under in the back. Big inhale, lifting up and back into downward facing dog. So again, pressing the hands into the mat. Not only the wrists, but the palms, the knuckles, the fingertips. Reaching the belly button towards the thigh. Keeping the ears between the arms. On an inhale, left leg lifts this time, reaching it high. And exhale, bringing that leg all the way through. So it's between the arms. Again, we can drop the back knee down if you like, or you can let it hover if that's in your practice. Dropping the right hip as low as possible, keeping the spine long. Nice and long through that hip flexor. When you're ready, you can place that right knee down to the floor, right hand to the inside of the left leg. Big inhale, reaching up with that left arm. Trying to stack the shoulders here. Lengthen from fingertip to fingertip. Deep belly breaths. Dropping that right hip down as far forward as you feel comfortable. On an exhale, we'll come out of that twist, shifting the hips backwards as we lengthen through that front left leg. Pressing the toes down into the mat, hands on either side of the leg. Bess has had enough yoga for the night. The couch is way more comfortable to her. So long through that spine. Feel that stretch through the back of the left leg now. Big deep breaths. Ensure that left leg is straight out in front of the hip. an inhale, when you're ready, we'll lift those toes up and draw them up towards the body. Still lengthening through the spine. Pressing the back of the knee down towards the floor. Every inhale lengthens the spine a little bit more. Every exhale brings the belly button down towards that left thigh. When you're ready, on an inhale, come back into center, sweep that left leg around. And again, relaxing down into child's pose. So knees nice and wide, big toes together, and lengthen through the arms. Relaxing the head and neck. And then on an inhale, when you're ready, rising back up onto the knees. We're going to bring the hands up. Big inhale, reaching tall. Exhale, bringing the hands onto the low back. So just above the buttocks there, try to bring the elbows as close together as you can. Opening up through the chest. Big inhale, press the hips forward. And exhale. Holding it here for a few deep breaths. If it's in your practice, feel free to reach back to those heels. Opening up. Pressing those hips forward, lifting the chin high. And when you're ready, relax the arms down by the side. A little shake out. We're going to keep the left hand now onto the hip. Big inhale, we're reaching up, opening up through that right side body. So lengthening through the right side here. Keeping it simple, hand is on the hip. A little bit more advanced, hand is on the left thigh or left heel. Big inhale, switching sides. So again, the hand can be on the hip. Or if it's in your practice, reach back to that right heel this time. Lengthening through the side body, pressing the hip forward on the left side. And inhale, coming all the way up. Shaking out. Knees are under the hips here. You can either tuck the toes under in the back if you want a little stretch through the feet, or tops of the feet into the mat. Choice is yours. And we're going to come down into a melted heart. So reaching the hands forward to keep the hips up high. And slowly walk those hands out in front. Lowering the chest, the chin, the forehead to the floor. Closing the eyes, breathing deep. On an inhale, shifting forward onto the forearms, and we're just going to cross our arms here. So just lacing them, reaching fingertips to elbows, slowly walk the legs back. And resting down onto the belly, forehead onto the arms, and we'll turn our toes out. So coming into crocodile here, toes are out, arches of the feet to the floor. Feel free to walk your legs out as wide as you need to in order to get the arches of your foot to match the floor. Forehead down, and just taking a few deep, relaxing breaths here. Think about softening through the hips and the shoulders. Feel free to end class this way if you're comfortable in that pose and you want to hold it a little bit longer. Or you can walk the feet together and gently roll onto the back. Coming into Savasana or corpse pose. Legs nice and long, hands down by the side. Or if you prefer, just staying on the belly. Let's take 5 deep breaths here. Inhaling all the way up. Exhaling completely. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, filling the belly through the ribs, all the way up to the top of the lungs. Exhale from the top, all the way down, deep into the belly. Once more, big inhale. Heavy exhale. Start to wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. And from whichever position you find yourself in, we'll softly roll onto the right side. Knees bent, resting the head on the right arm. Take a moment and just thank yourself for making time for your practice this evening. When you're ready, pressing your way up to an easy seated position. Sitting up nice and tall. Rolling up through the shoulders, hands on the knees, lengthen up through the spine. Maybe a few head rolls, side to side. Shaking up through the shoulders. Well, Dubessa and I would like to thank you for joining us in our practice tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave any questions or comments below. And don't forget, this video will be available on the Facebook page as well as Northern Red Fitness on YouTube. So you can find us there for lots more yoga and other workout videos. So thank you so much. Like, save, share. I very much appreciate. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. Thank you. Namaste. Thank you again. Have a wonderful evening.